Hi guys, if you can hear me, please let me know. I'm just pulling up my Facebook, getting ready to make sure that we have everything running. So I recently did a live with my good friend Niraj, and we talked about what's working in LinkedIn 2022 and what's not. And we got such amazing feedback, but I heard from some of you that you weren't able to attend. And right now, the LinkedIn platform, their audio, it doesn't support recording. And so that event was not recorded, that content was not recorded. And I want to make sure that you get that content because it's going to be extremely valuable to you and your business. So if you're on live, let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're watching this as a replay, let me know replay. And let me just make sure, I need to check one other thing before we jump into the details. So what platform are you guys currently using? Are you using LinkedIn? Are you using Facebook? Are you using Twitter? Are you using Instagram? What are you using right now? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. So I want to preface this by saying this conversation is one that can be applied to many different platforms. Whether you're using LinkedIn, whether you're using Facebook, whether you're using Instagram, you can use any platform you want. But what's important is that you're strategic with your time and you're strategic with developing relationships and you're strategic with your actions. Because the biggest mistake people do is they give up too quickly, they don't have a process in place, and then they ultimately don't get the results that they're looking for. Have you had that happen? Let me know. I'm trying to make sure I can see the comments over here. So sorry if I'm looking over at my other screen. I want to make sure that this is streaming right. Okay, I think that we are all good. So let's chat. What is exactly working in LinkedIn in 2022? So I want to first start back a few years ago. There were hardly any content creators on LinkedIn. If you did a post, you would get hundreds of views and you would get engagement even easier than you do today. I would say LinkedIn's a lot easier to get engagement, get eyes on your post than it is Facebook. I mean, Facebook used to be the same way. You could do a post and get so much engagement, but now more and more people have jumped on the platform and it becomes harder. So what can you do to stand out? And it really starts first with the basics. You need to have a very clear profile. You need to have a good profile picture. You need to have a banner. You need to have a tagline that says what you do and who you help. No one cares that you're the business owner of ABC company. No one cares that you are the managing partner at X firm. That's just the reality of it. Who do you help? What problems do you solve and what results do you get? That's what you want to focus on in your headline. And this is something you can reiterate, you can update over time. It's nothing that you need to make sure is perfect day one, but please, please, please make sure it does not just say you're the owner of ABC company. That's not helpful. Some other things on LinkedIn specifically you want to look at is getting reviews. So reviews and testimonials are super helpful. If you don't have ones that are recent or you don't have ones that reflect what you're currently doing, ask for them. You can ask current clients, you can ask colleagues, you can even ask people that you have that you currently work with. Like if you have a good relationship with your marketing agency, you could ask them to leave a review, right? They have worked with you. Maybe not as your client, but they can definitely leave you a review of what it's like to have a relationship with you. So think about all those people that you can get reviews from and ask for them because that's going to help your credibility. Now, the profile is just one small piece. If you just have a knockout profile and you're not doing anything else, people probably aren't going to find you. And so this is when these next steps, these are so critical to your success on LinkedIn. And again, we're going to be talking about LinkedIn and I'm giving examples for LinkedIn, but I want you to know that this can be applied to any platform. Okay, so are you following me? And again, if you're watching on replay, you can still ask questions and I will come back and check on these. All right, so the next thing you need to do is be connecting with people. And notice I said you need to be doing this before you're creating content. You absolutely do. If you just jump into creating content and you're not connecting with people, and then you're not conversing with people, you are not going to see good results on LinkedIn. Again, it has changed. You can no longer just post a piece of content and expect for that one piece of content to get a bunch of views, a bunch of likes, a bunch of comments. I'm telling you, the connecting and the conversing with people is key. And when we talk about connecting with people, some things you want to think about is starting, how can I connect with this person and start a conversation with them? How can I engage them? So what can I do to do that? Well, there's a variety of things you can do. A really awesome one is to send a voice note. So not only are they quick and easy, but they're super personal. Clearly, it's you behind the voice note, and you are doing something different to stand out. So I love voice notes, but if you're not in a place to leave a voice note, or maybe that's not your thing, just ask a question. Ask them what they're up to this year, what some of their goals are. Go to their profile. If they post content, you could say, hey, I really found XYZ valuable in your content. Find something to ask them about. People love to talk about their self. And if you can ask them a question about their self, you can start a conversation. So connect, converse, and then finally you can start creating for the platform. Okay. And this should come last. So you should spend the majority of your time connecting and conversing with people. Try to do 20 people a day. That will change your business if you do this with 20 people a day. And then when you start creating content, I want you to think about creating content that adds value in some way. And you hear this word value thrown out all the time about, you need to be adding value. You need to be adding value. But what's value? So value can be a lot of things. It could be as simple as sharing some educational tips, but it could also be some sort of inspiration. It could be sharing your journey, your story, what you've learned along the way, because a lot of times people are going to connect with those more personal messages and pieces of content that you share, your story, right? How many times have you followed someone on social media because you read something and you're like, wow, that really, I can relate to that, or that's so inspiring. Like, I don't know how they overcame that. And I want to be around this person more online because I want to be inspired by them. Has that ever happened to you? I want you to really think about the people you follow. And, as you're thinking about creating content, I need you to also think about whose content are you engaging with. So this is just equally as important as sending those conversations. You need to go and engage with other people. If you expect people to just come to your content and start engaging on it, but you don't spend any time engaging on other people's posts, sending them messages, developing those relationships, I can promise you your content is going to make the impact of this much compared to this much of what it can do. So I need you to do that. I need you to be really focused on conversing and creating. Okay, so those are just some simple tips, but let's dig into a few more specifics. So whenever you're on this platform, whenever you're on LinkedIn, I want you to think about what can you do to show people attention? So on social media, there's a lot of vanity metrics and there's a lot of competition to show that you're growing your following or you're growing your engagement on your posts. And if ultimately the goal on social media is attention, if you can make other people feel seen, if you can give other people attention, and this goes right back to the engagement, this goes right back to the sending the direct messages, you are going to win every single time. So focus less on getting attention yourself and focus on giving attention to others. I also want you to be really honed in on who it is that you want to build your community around. So it's so much more important to have 100 of the right followers than to have 100,000 followers. You want the right people following you. So you've probably heard the riches are in the niches, and that's true. And this is not to say that you can't continue to serve your clients that are in other industries, but if you can really pick a niche and be super focused in who you want to find on these platforms, who you want to connect with, who you want to converse with, who you want to create for, then your chances of succeeding, you go from trying to boil just a pot of water with your niche to trying to boil a lake if you're trying to talk to everyone. So you need to hone in on who it is. Again, the riches are in the niches. They're not lying whenever they say that. And ultimately, this takes a ton of time. If you think that you can just pop on LinkedIn for 30 minutes a week and it's going to explode your business, anyone who's promised that is lying to you. Okay. LinkedIn is one strategy. And if it's your only strategy, can it get you clients? Sure. But if it's your only strategy, you are going to have to put in so much effort, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I also don't want you to think that LinkedIn doesn't work or social media doesn't work because you put in the bare minimum effort. You show up, you send a few messages, and then you're off. It doesn't work like that. Maybe it used to before there was a ton of people on the platform and a lot of people trying to utilize it to capture new business, but it doesn't now. And I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions out there about whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook, whether it's advertising, whether it's setting up a sales funnel with ads running to it. It's that one little thing can make a big difference. It's not going to. It's a lot of things that make a big difference. And it's usually a lot of things within one place so that you can make a big impact. And that's what you've got to focus on. So if you want LinkedIn to work, if you want it to help you grow your business, it can be an amazing tool, but it takes a lot of work. So my recommendation for you would be to follow these steps. Whether it's you, whether it's someone you hire, make sure that they're following these steps. You have to be first, have a great profile, get reviews, have an updated banner, have an updated tagline, get a nice profile picture. Then you need to go out and you need to connect with minimum 20 people a day, send them messages. And again, these messages can just ask them what their plans are for this year, what their goals are, what they're working on. They can be more personal. Maybe, you've read some of their content, but not everyone's posting content. A lot of people aren't. So I need you to connect with them. I need you to converse with them and then create content. Content is the gas to the fire. If there was no fire and you just pour gas on some floor, on the sticks, nothing's going to happen. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I love LinkedIn. I've seen it get results for a ton of accounting firms. I've had it work great for me, but it's a lot of work. And so if you want it to work, make sure that you are doing the steps you need to do, or make sure you have someone else helping you get all of those tasks accomplished, and you will see great success. If this was helpful, let me know. LinkedIn's just one strategy that we can talk about. I could talk about a lot of different strategies, and I'm happy to do so if you guys found it valuable. So I hope you did. Let me know what questions you have. Let me know how it goes when you implement this. Let me know if it made sense, and I will catch you in the next live. Talk to you later and have a great rest of your week. Bye, everyone.